moderating the certificate for us.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. We are first event of the semester technology challenged a little bit. So I just want to check with the partner organizations, make sure everybody can hear us okay.
I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you.
Okay. Sounds like we're in pretty good shape then. All right. Thanks everybody again for coming out. We've got several partner organizations with us tonight. So we're just going to go through them one by one, give them a chance to introduce themselves, talk a little bit about their organizations, and then we'll run through some questions about business to business, sales, marketing, the current environment, what types of challenges we're facing, and then hopefully have a little bit of time at the end for some questions. So think about what you want to hear from these guys. So without further ado, I think I've got a list in front of, Andy's got a list that he's going to click through. All right, so we're going to start with Susan Ryan from Victor Envelopes. If you could just give us a couple of minutes about your organization and types of positions you might have open at the moment.
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm Susan from Victor Envelope Company. We're a partner, and we have openings for sales interns and full-time career opportunities. We are located in the Chicagoland area. We're manufacturers of custom envelopes, printed packaging solutions, labels, pretty much anything that you can print on. We can help out our customers. We're always excited to partner with UW-Whitewater. You guys are in an excellent program, and you already know that. So we currently have 2 or 3 Warhawks on staff, and they're doing a wonderful job as account executives. So thank you for having us.
All right, thanks, Susan. Much appreciated. Second, we're going to go to Ian Korolenko from TTI Milwaukee Tool.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to tell you a little bit about TTI, also known as Tektronix Industries. While many of you probably haven't heard of TTI before, you've probably heard of some of our amazing brands. We're roughly a $13+ billion consumer packaged goods company. We focus in 3 major consumer products areas: power tools, outdoor power equipment, things like lawnmowers and string trimmers, as well as the floor care industry. When you break down all the brands that we own and manufacture across those 3 markets, we have heavy hitters like Milwaukee Tool, which is the fastest growing professional grade power tool in the world. Ryobi Tool, which is the #1 consumer grade power tool in the world, as well as some amazing homemade brands or homegrown brands like Auric, Hoover, and Dirt Devil. So when you look at TTI, you've never heard of us, but you probably own some of these products at home, or maybe your parents do. Our company is a fantastic company to grow within. We have opportunities in basically every facet of business you could possibly imagine. But what we're really looking to hire for is our leadership development program. Every single person who starts off with TTI who's passionate about operations, sales, personnel management, or even marketing starts as a field sales and marketing representative in the field, calling on one of our largest accounts, typically the Home Depot. We do a big portion of our business through key partnerships and retail agreements through Home Depot. And we're looking to hire some great people to come on board, manage a group or subset of stores within a specific market in the field, and learn everything it takes about our customers, our clientele, some of those key partnerships we have within that retailer, and take all of our training and leverage that into a career path of your choice. After that first role, us being strictly promote from within, we're looking to find people who are passionate about marketing and want to do a lot of what we're talking about today, which is work on our marketing teams for any of the brands that I mentioned before. We also have a great sales program with our Milwaukee Tool brand. We have operations, supply chain, finance, you name it, style roles, sales analytics. And we also have some awesome opportunities in the pipeline that I'm in, which is management. If you're passionate about working with others, growing, teaching, managing, we've got awesome opportunities all over the country there too. So we're hiring like crazy for both full-time out of Whitewater specifically, and we're hiring for both for a field sales-based internship that's very similar to that first level role as well.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. Change slides here. Tyler Shaw, next up from Prent Corporation. Taylor.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for having me. I'm Taylor Shaw. I am the Midwest sales representative with Prent Corporation. So we're not too far from Whitewater. Our global headquarters are in Janesville, Wisconsin, so not too far. But I'm sure not a ton of you have heard of Front Corporation. So we are the world's largest thermoformer, and we specialize in providing custom packaging solutions for medical device manufacturers. So I know a lot of you are probably like, what is thermoforming? What is that? So I actually brought this. So this is what we produce. We work with medical device manufacturers who have surgical equipment, any medical devices, any implants, and we package that. So this is what we produce, just to give you a frame of reference. So in terms of hiring, we did just take on a new sales representative for the Northeast territory, but we are always open for new employees as well. And we are currently working on developing some sort of a marketing/sales internship, because we currently do not have any interns at the moment, but that is definitely coming up in the future. So yeah, that's a little bit about that.
All right, thank you very much. Edgar Rico from Sherwin-Williams, please. Thank you.
Hey guys, excited to be here with you guys. So I'll tell you a little bit about Sherwin-Williams. We're one of the leading companies for paint manufacturing coatings. A lot of people usually think, the paint in the walls, but we go through floor covering, we go through the house paint, we go through automotive, industrial, and marine. So anything that can get coated, we're in that business. So we are currently hiring for internships and management training programs, and we also have full-time and part-time at our stores. So being mostly geared towards management and sales. A little bit about Sherwin-Williams. Look forward to seeing you guys. Definitely come learn more for us at the career fair.
All right, Edgar, thank you very much. Next up is Tech Systems, Jeanette Compton.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I want to say I'm really grateful to AMA. I actually used to be in AMA back when I was in Whitewater. So this is cool. It's like full circle for me. And I feel like I'm doing the elevator pitch right now. But I work at Tech Systems, which we are one of the nation's largest IT services firms. We work with over 80% of the Fortune 500 companies around the nation. I specifically work with the healthcare providers. So if you think of a large hospital, from the top of the state to the bottom of the state, I'm servicing them with modernized IT solutions to better give patients care. But we work with a variety of different industries. Milwaukee Tool is actually one of our largest customers in the Milwaukee area. We have a lot of different openings available. We are currently hiring for an inside and an outside sales internship, and I believe they start beginning of June into the end of August. And we do actually have one of your own coming with us. It'll be our first outside sales intern. I think his name is Michael. He's the VP of sales there. But yeah, we have a lot of different positions opening internally and for the internships. So lots of opportunity to grow, and we're a really fast growing company as well as really modernized with our IT and our practices too. So yeah, a little bit about tech.
All righty, thank you very much. A couple more to go still. Drew Simpson, Rico Rexnard, please.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I first want to say thankful that the image of the classroom is pretty small and blurry, or else I'd be a lot more nervous at the thought of how many people could possibly be in that room. Drew Simpson, Regal Rexnord. I manage training for our sales team. Our company we're a leader in electromechanical components. We manufacture those. It's kind of a crazy way of saying we make stuff for people who make stuff. So extremely large in food and beverage production, steel production, a lot of different industries, but think, loud, greasy, all sorts of stuff like that. So the fun stuff. A lot of different jobs we're promoting, primarily focused on sales. Like I think Ian mentioned, he had a kind of leadership development program that starts in sales. We're the same way. We have a sales engineering and leadership program. It is a 6-month training program for recent college graduates. get you kind of exposure to all different aspects of the business, teach you about our products, how to sell them, all about the customers. And people from that program are traditionally going to move on to other bigger things. Some of them are going to move into marketing roles with that grasp of the customer base, firsthand experience. Our director of sales, our national sales director, was a graduate of the program. We have some of the program graduates who are leading account management of some of our largest accounts. So that's really the program we're pushing, but we do also have several entry-level marketing positions as well, primarily focused on the college graduates, but definitely excited to be here today.
All right, thanks, Drew. Appreciate it. And one last one, Jace Dilly with ABC Supply. Jace, with ABC Supply, we can see you, but we can't hear you. Yep, got a technology challenge with Jace. We've got a good picture, but no sound. Can you hear us? Okay. We can't hear Jace though. Okay. All right, we're gonna give Jace a minute to reset his microphone and get moving, and then we'll give him a couple of minutes to do an introduction. For the group that's with us, we're gonna start out kind of basic in the business to business world. We are very much familiar with our day in and day out life of business consumer purchases, whether it's online through Amazon, Walmart, fast food, cars, houses, complex things. But the business to business world's significantly different, both from the sales and marketing side. So I'd like to get a couple of minutes from each of you about how your companies go to market. How do you attract companies? What's the role of your marketing and sales departments? Go right back up the list that we started with. Susan, if you'd like to go first.
Sure. So our account executives are charged with marketing and prospecting their way to success. So our opportunity is a little bit unique in that we allow them a lot of latitude to figure out what's going to work for them. So some of them are prospecting through emails, some are prospecting through cold calls, and some are some form of both. So they are charged with getting to that buyer, and that's not always simple and an easy task, but that's what the grind is for them. And the payoff at the end is a very lucrative career with us here, but that's kind of how our account execs attack that.
Thank you very much. Ian,
Sure.
with TTI, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Being a consumer products company, the business to consumer marketing aspect is something we've got narrowed down pretty fantastically at this point. But when it comes to B2B, we operate in some pretty interesting industries. So a lot of what our sales reps on our outside sales platform, they call on industrial chain places like Fastenal, Grainger, that distribute to those construction companies. We also do a lot of B2B marketing to hardware stores, those mom and pop shops in your hometown, the Aces, the Do It Best, True Values. And essentially where we optimize a lot of our marketing is by setting up our sales reps for success to increase and drive that business. So a lot of our marketing dollars goes towards building collateral for our sales reps to help drive the value, the why, to either carry more of our products, sell more of our products, and more specifically, promote a lot of our products. So we're oftentimes using a lot of our marketing dollars to incentivize these distributors to sell more of our products, either through some sort of, sell more, save more in terms of their purchasing, or some sort of rebate that's built into their system. We also latch on to some of their own marketing systems as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ian. Much appreciated. Jeanette, with Tech Systems, how do you folks go to market on a B2B standpoint?
Yeah, so for us, it's not like a one size fits all, but as I was talking more about the verticals when I was giving my intro, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm echoing or something. I'm not sure what's going on here. But So like I'll just use me for example. Like I said, I work with the providers in Wisconsin. I go after as well as other people who are in my position as an account manager. We're outside sales. We go after the IT directors, IT managers, IT VPs, CIOs in the companies because that is who we're dealing with for understanding their IT environment. And then after that, we engage with our larger partners, Amazon Web Services, Google, Microsoft, for example, to come in and bring our expertise together to create a solution. And we also use marketing through them as well because they are those larger name brands. So when I go to someone and I know that they might have like Microsoft in their environment, I'll be like, oh, we are a premier partner with Microsoft. Who do you know? Like we work with them on this level. That's one way we market. We also have our staffing branches, which is what you guys might be more familiar with about tech systems. The Allegis Group and Aerotech is one of our sister companies. So before we were a global services IT company, we were a staffing company. So we have that market share completely. Like we are the best in the biz for that. We can utilize those relationships with our recruiters to find gaps and needs within our customers because if you're working with someone, we've probably worked with your business before. So we're very well known, just different avenues and different verticals do a little bit of different attack, but we're all over it.
Sounds like a wide variety of different methods. Thank you very much. Edgar with Sherwin-Williams, if you would, please.
Yeah, thank you. So we concentrate a lot with prospecting as well. Different contractors. So in my field, it'd be painting contractors, general contractors, and we just really market ourselves as not just another coatings provider, but basically a value partner in their business and showing the value that we can bring besides just paint, being more profitable by using different types of products, and just really being part of their business instead of just a vendor for them. So different ways that we try to do that with technology, applicators, and just little things that they wouldn't think of, but would make such a big impact into their business, kind of just outside and thinking towards them.
All right, fantastic. Much appreciated. Thank you. Drew from Regal Rexnord, how do you go to market?
Absolutely. So, we go to market through a couple different ways, all exclusively B2B. So we are going to be selling through some authorized distributors that are calling on primarily the people that actually use our products. They support the Coca-Colas, the U.S. Steels of the world, the folks who are actually putting our products on their equipment and running it. We also sell directly to some folks who manufacture the equipment that's going to be found in those facilities. So people who make conveyors that go into Coca-Cola. So we sell directly to them, and really we market through a lot of different ways, but I say the primary focus is trying to position ourselves as a solution provider. So we sell pretty technical products, and in that case, in a lot of cases, it has to do with training associates how to use it, training distributors how to sell it and provide solutions to their customers. And so a lot of it is using our technical expertise, our engineering background, high quality products, and getting to those folks. And it can be complex because not all the customers are going to care about similar things. Some buyers are going to primarily focus on price, whereas if we get to some maintenance or engineering types, they may be more responsive to features. So it's kind of a balance on what kind of content we're putting in front of the various customers.
All right, thank you very much. Great stuff. Taylor Shaw with Prent.
Yeah. So in terms of marketing at Prent, it's very interesting and I'd say pretty different. So we are solely B2B. We work with contract manufacturers and OEMs, so only our original equipment manufacturer. So those are two different aspects of things. The contract manufacturers on putting together the entire assembly and device for the OEM, and making and putting their name on it. So there's two different outlets, and because we are 98% medical, there are a ton of regulations we need to follow, and they are pretty strict. So we aren't able to showcase any of our customers' names, and we are completely a custom business. So that puts us in a spot. We have contractual agreements where we cannot share any designs, anything, leaving us to not really be able to showcase our final product without permission from the customer. So in terms of marketing, we have one marketing manager at Prent. So a lot of the marketing is we work with her and the sales markets as well. So she utilizes LinkedIn a lot, tries to include technical talk, a lot of our capabilities that way in terms of marketing. However, we do need to be careful about our technical explanations as well. So our sales team is the one actively going out there. We are the ones prospecting. And we're the ones truly conceiving the true value and the true quality of what we produce. We're an industry leader and an industry expert for a reason, and that's something we always look for different ways to market to our customers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I think we've got Jace from ABC Supply on the phone with us at this moment. Jace, can you hear us? 1 second. Okay, Jace, you may still be muted. Can you hear us?
There, can you hear me now?
There we go. Jace from ABC Supply finally sorted out all of our technical difficulties. Jace, why don't you give us a couple of minutes on ABC Supply and then your take on how the company goes to market from a B2B standpoint.
Sure. So I work at ABC Supply as a manager of one of their locations up on the north side of Rochester, Minnesota. ABC Supply, if you don't know, is the country's largest wholesaler of exterior building products. So shingles, siding, gutter, windows, what have you. Started in 1982. After 40 years, we are the largest in the country. Our owner, Diane Hendricks, if you haven't heard of her, is the richest self-made woman in the United States, and she lives down in just south of Janesville, Wisconsin. We have some internships and full-time positions always available in sales and management. Primarily what we're looking for are manager candidates who can then go on to sales or go on to be a manager. As far as B2B in our industry and how it's going, the nice thing about ABC being wholesale is we do direct to contractors and professionals. I know it sounds rude, but it's nice not to have to deal with retail or homeowners, as that'll be a one-time transaction in roughly 15 years, where our contractors we're selling 4 to 5 roofs a day. This allows us for more of a personal type relationship-driven experience, where most of the retail end of things tends to be more transactional.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to open the next couple of questions up, just generally speaking, to the entire group. So we'll see if we can manage who's answering which question at which time. I want to hear from you guys. We're in some pretty unique times as far as the way media is consumed and the way media is handled. What are the biggest challenges for you individually from a marketing standpoint as you try to reach your prospective customers and current customers?
Oh, I can start on that one.
Sure.
If that's okay. Nobody else wanted to jump in there.
Go ahead.
So I feel like I did mention this a decent amount for the question before. So at Prent, when we are working through a project with a customer, there are a lot of contracts that go back and forth to ensure that everything is very confidential. So we never can share design with any other customers. If I am working with one of my prospects and they mention a certain scenario and say, oh, can I see that? Can I see how this is done? We can't show them unless we actually start that process internally. So, I mean, it's a great thing. We offer all our developmental, all of our developmental work free of no charge, but there is definitely a challenge in terms of marketing when we can't showcase all of our products. We used to submit LinkedIn posts for Technical Tuesdays. And even our technical talk, we have to be careful about for competitors out there who may want to, if they see, oh, that's a great way to design that tray. So it's very challenging in terms of showcasing our expertise while being select with our information that we give to customers and prospects. So the way that we really market and the way that we kind of overcome that is trade shows are huge for us. That's where we have a bunch of trays that our customers gave us permission to showcase, and of course that's great for leads. It's always about leads for B2B. It's not going to be a transactional sale right away. You're looking for leads, so that's one great thing that we do. And another thing is when we do have that opportunity from a customer and they say, oh yeah, this is a great design, and we put in the right documentation in place and we can share that with other people, we do submit them for Ameristar Awards, World Star Awards, and we have about 50 combined, and those are basically Grammys of packaging. So when we get those awards, that showcases our abilities and capabilities. So that's stuff we do, and we try to go down that line in order to market, because it is challenging for the reasons I just explained.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. If somebody else wants to jump in, otherwise I'll volunteer somebody.
I'll go. This is Jace at ABC. The biggest
Jace.
thing as of late that happened with us was COVID-19. Since the base of our customer base is all in person at job sites, here at the branch, at meetings, at lunches, not being able to go out and see people in person very much hurt our going to market. So we had to learn to pivot, utilizing, as everybody else, Zoom meetings. We had to do an express pickup where guys could come in here and have it be contactless. So a lot of that due to COVID made us switch our ways.
COVID-19, a huge impact on all of us. I'm sure a huge impact on Taylor as well, and the rest of you that use trade shows as a way to go to market. Jeanette, how has it impacted your business, or what are the challenges that you're seeing right now?
Yeah, I can echo that as well. So pre-COVID, outside sales, you're a little bit aggressive, right? You're the one trying to find the leads, attracting the customer, showing them value. We're still doing that. Prior to COVID-19, we could go and maybe show up at a job site or maybe show up at an office, get a sit down meeting with them and their team, but we really couldn't do that anymore. Especially for me, with all my customers being in healthcare, we have to be extra precautious still to this day. So we've had to learn how to be, as an industry, to shape with the consumer market and the B2B market. We've had to learn how to bring more value to our customers, which is and more enticing for them to meet with me during like a virtual sit down or like a virtual lunch or whatever. And then also really being good at finding the information before coming to them with just like a sales pitch, right? So like I will utilize anyone from the inside of my customers' teams to be like, hey, what's going on right now? Like, what are your plans for 2023? That's like my big thing right now. Like, what's the roadmap? What are you seeing for the end of Q1, going into Q2? So that when I do go to your manager or your boss or the director, I have something relevant to talk to them about, where they want to take time out of their extremely busy day to talk to me over a virtual call. Easier said than done, but we, like I said, we lean on a lot of our partners too, with just our market share in the IT space, in our different avenues. But it's tough. There's a lot of competition, especially in technology, in the technology consulting sales. But yeah, we have a pretty big brand that backs us up, but still I do run into those head-to-head competitors where I have to show that I know a little bit more than them.
Thank you very much. Other input on big challenges in the going to market phase for B2B right now. Edgar at Sherwin-Williams, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. So I can definitely echo everything that they had said. One big thing in our demographic and our customers that's really changing too is there's not a lot of new painters coming in, and the demographic is really changing. So language is being a little bit of a issue with some of the communications that we have. So really being able to shift gears and be able to provide, just even on our application, having whatever language that they have set up as their preferred language on their phone, our application automatically even translates that to them. So being able to break down those language barriers and being able to partner with them better has definitely been a huge plus for us and helped us through these challenges.
Andrew, you mind if I build off of that one?
Oh, go right ahead. Appreciate it.
So speaking demographic shifts, he focused on the language barriers that exist. One thing that I think some of maybe the other industrial companies that echo here is the age shift in the industrial space, where previously, I think it's pretty well documented that we don't have a ton of people going into the trades at the moment, and so there's a lot of tribal knowledge that is retiring year after year, and in some cases we're already there. I read somewhere the average age of a maintenance technician at a plant is under the age of 30. So we're talking with people who are not that far off from college graduates, and so with that tribal knowledge, we can really become a resource, because a lot of people are not as familiar with the equipment that they're running, with the tools that they're using, and they're open to learning about it, open to hearing that resource. So, from our perspective, however we position ourselves, whether our salespeople being resources for, teaching things about the solutions to the customers, or the marketing team, providing easy to access tools online, promoting those tools, and being just kind of a solution provider. That's really huge, because in some cases the customers need it and they're looking for it.
Great insight. Thank you very much. So we've got changing demographics. We've got changing maybe language barriers. Also with changing demographics, we've got challenges with COVID. What else are we facing as challenges as we go to the B2B market? Ian, what are you seeing from TTI?
I think another thing that's a challenge for a lot of consumer packaged goods companies in general is a lot of the way that we design our sales strategy is around the specific retailers that we partner most closely with. We have a lot of great partnerships across different retailers. And as we continue to expand from a CPG perspective, we've got to understand, how can we better present ourselves? How can we get, continue to stay competitive with them, right? You want to pick the retailers that make the most sense to you to push our products. And if there's ever that teetering of, we feel like this retailer has too much of our business or not enough, that's when we really have to readjust. With TTI, our biggest partnership from almost day one of, especially with our new CEO, Joe Galli, I call him new, but he's been around since about 2006, he's relatively new. He really partnered with Home Depot, and people always ask, why don't we sell at Lowe's? Why don't we diversify our portfolio? And the biggest reason is, Home Depot outsells Lowe's 2-to-1 when it comes, 2-to-1 now when it comes to power tools, moving closer to 3-to-1. So when we're looking at, that B2B strategy, how do we continue to build that book of business, which makes up a huge portion of what we do as an organization, and build marketing material that really drives that business towards this massive retailer that's in almost every major city, every state across the country, all while not forgetting about those other retailers that we want to partner with, the other national chains like the Fastenals, the Grangers. But then how can we make our B2B materials and target specific chains within small hardware stores like Ace, where there may be one business owner that owns 4 or 5 Aces across Ohio or across Southern Florida. So for us, the challenge is really, how do we continue to drive a lot of our marketing efforts towards those big breadwinners for us without losing that small touch towards those smaller distributors that we really are a big pride and joy of the end users that we ultimately are where our products end up. Those tradesmen that are so, dedicated to maybe the mom and pop shop they've been buying their power tools at since they started when they were 20 years old, 48 years ago. So that's a big piece of what we try to do, is have a channel team dedicated to all of these that can keep us diversified and make sure that we're allocating the right dollars in the right spot and nobody's getting left behind. That's a great partner of ours.
Fantastic. Susan, your You're the only one that we haven't gotten insight from on this one. So if you want for a couple of minutes to speak to challenges specifically in your industry from a B2B going to market standpoint.
Sure. COVID really rang, true for us here as well. I'm sure everybody, and supply chain issues were huge. Paper was a commodity and very difficult to get a hold of. So, trying to pivot and work with our account executives, we're inundated with people calling us, so they didn't have to pick up the phone so much and call outbound. But how do we balance and take care of our current customers when there was an influx, high demand for all these new other, customers were scrambling to get their envelopes and their packaging needs. So that was a challenge. And, thankfully we're well respected in the industry. So our paper mills, were keeping us fed with paper, but not enough. And our backlog was higher than it's ever been, but we had record-breaking sales years, the last 2 years. So we made some lemonade out of lemons. We picked up a lot of business, as you can imagine, with ballot envelopes. So during those 2 years, we couldn't, stop making those, and that was all good. So we just had to learn to turn those challenges into a win for us and our customers. But yeah, that's probably what I would share about that.
COVID was such a unique experience for all of us, but different from a B2B segment. As I listened to each of you and those of you that mentioned it specifically and looked at the rest of you, not a single one of you shut down for COVID for any length of time or in any level of significance, contrary to what we were used to seeing, right? Closed stores, closed restaurants, things like that. The B2B world doesn't stop for that. We had to learn, we had to adjust, and we had to make adjustments. So challenges, right, that we found: age turnover, loss of tribal knowledge, the COVID event and the COVID effects and the changes there, and some of the other various challenges we've had. Susan, we'll come right back to you. How is technology impacting your businesses? How are you using it to overcome these challenges? What do you see on the horizon?
Yeah, I don't know that it, for us, and this is, for our segment of the market, has impacted us that much. Definitely our account executives use technology, the internet, to prospect. So that, to be sure, that's huge. When I interview candidates that, or just talk to people, what do you do? I'm with an envelope manufacturer. It's like, isn't that a dying industry? Isn't that a dinosaur, et cetera, et cetera? But it's quite the opposite. You're all in digital marketing versus direct mail marketing. There's plenty of studies that say that the response rate is higher on direct mail marketing. Direct mail marketing than digital. So we're positioned well. We're diversifying into packaging. I think that's what I can share on that subject.
Fantastic. I really appreciate it. We can pick them off in the rest in whatever order you'd like. Technology, how is it impacting your industry, your marketing efforts, your sales efforts? How is it helping you overcome these challenges?
I think the biggest thing that we've seen from, on at least from TTI's perspective, we've got this extremely diverse sales force that's calling on all these different types of customers. And how we've seen technology really disrupt and kind of interrupt the way that we thought about it is, for COVID, we are very much a shake hands, face-to-face type of sales organization. And we have to be, because that's how our customers operate. And what technology is really, how we've leveraged it as an organization, is finding that software, the SaaS companies out there that are creating products that help streamline the process from this is what the customer is hoping for, what they're going to get, and we're seeing the return and the value from there. So we obviously have a whole organization developed, a part of our IT team and our marketing team developed around, what stacks make the most sense, like what types of prospecting software, sales management, should we use Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics? There's a million different companies to choose from out there. And I think that's been one of the biggest hurdles is, especially during COVID, you saw many of these technology companies blow up, and the big names, the Zooms, Salesforce, but there's all these different ones that have so much to offer. It's challenging to navigate between what do you really want to bring in that's going to bring that process forward. So we really leveraged it to find ways to get more information to our customers quicker. You know, we used to do a ton of in-person trade shows. It's still a big part of what we do. We have a massive team down in Florida talking about outdoor products this week with a bunch of end users and one of our biggest customers. But we also want to figure out how can we leverage that to continue that flow of information a little quicker. Instead of hearing about all the new amazing products we're going to launch once per year, why don't we come up with a new program, a new system utilizing that technology to talk about what we're doing every single quarter and hype up maybe what is coming towards the end of the year in Q4 to get these organizations more excited about buying in now to help us better forecast for the future as well. Kind of going away from in person helps us be a little more nimble, whereas always relying on, you know, going to a World of Concrete in Las Vegas every single spring, that's only once a year. What if I want to tell you about this new product right now today to start delivering that demand or driving that demand from a supply chain standpoint?
Outstanding. Thank you. Drew, I noticed you're nodding.
I was going to say, I'd love
along.
to build off that because I feel like we're focused on the same stuff. With what Ian said, handshake, in-person selling was a huge focus of ours, still is. But I like to say what we've focused on since COVID. We've tried to, I call it the art of illusion. If you can be everywhere at once, and have it be reality. So we have like tripled or quadrupled our inside sales force because some people like that personal touch even when we can't be in person. And so that's an awesome way to reach folks, with that personal touch, but not necessarily at the same cost and not the same schedule constrictions, right? If you're driving and all of that kind of thing. The trade show, same thing, right? Unveiling really large products at specific times of the year. With the technical sales, we like to show off like all of the capabilities that we can do. And so showing off at trade shows is still a big part of that. But also being where the customers are from a digital perspective, we're trying to be as easy to do business with as possible online and have any type of product information ready. So in some cases, customers are able to pull drawings off of our website and insert them into their own equipment so that we're right away part of the design. And so all of those things, digital, inside sales, and the marketing focus, that's how technology has enabled us to do all of that stuff.
Standing in manufacturing, right? You both touched on the flow of information, just being able to get information from point A to point B that we never could before.
Yeah, some of us don't think of the manufacturers as all that savvy, but I mean, I feel like we do some cool stuff. We're pretty nimble. Salesforce, all that, calling on the right customers.
Taylor, I would imagine your staff sees much of the same, the ability to move design information and technical specifications rapidly. Does that help?
Absolutely.
What else is technology doing for you?
Sorry, I didn't hear that last part. My audio is not the greatest, so I apologize.
That's okay. Just, are you seeing similar things as far as your technology uses, and how is technology impacting you guys?
Yeah, definitely. For manufacturing, I mean, technology is huge. There are so many things going on, so many different master control plans, so many things needing to be communicated from department to department in order for everything to go as smoothly as possible. We have our owner, he is a huge tech guru. So we are continuously investing in new technologies at Prent. Whether that be our automated pallet system in our tool room, because we do produce the tooling that creates those thermoform trays. We've just implemented the autonomous green vehicles in order to drive those forklifts themselves around our warehouse and transporting different goods from one point to, delivery port. We have vision software that was a recent initiative of ours as well, where we can more precisely cut down on the flange where we trim that. That's our highest tolerance that we have. But something that really stood out for me in terms of technology, it's a new initiative at Prent as well. And it's our 3D renderings. So when I'm communicating with a customer, when we are pursuing a project and I am showing them their design, I send them a 3D model of what it will look like in person. So we have a 3D rendering specialist who can take these 3D models and make them look very realistic. And I think that's a great thing to market, to show, hey, this is what it's going to look realistically. Customers love seeing that. So we always are looking to implement new technologies like our 3D renderings, just to give us that edge and put us a little bit up in terms of compatibility. So
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Edgar at Sherwin-Williams, and then Jace, if you're with us still from ABC, I want to get your input on this as well, and then we'll wrap up this question with Jeanette.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So technology has been a great asset to us. So very much like these businesses, it's very much about being in front of our customer, handshake deals, and our contractors are kind of the same way. So we really just had to shift and utilize this technology. So we really created more of a digital platform that we ever had before, kind of giving our B2B 24 access to their business, making their past history purchases online available 24/7, making them be able to add their contractors or their painters onto their account and giving them access to placing orders, or even just giving their accountant access to their files, and just making it so much easier, because their struggles are our struggles at the same time. So anything that we can make it easier for them via this technology has been great. We've switched things up to where even we've created a quoting platform, just because a lot of these contractors are used to going into people's homes and they can't do that anymore. So they had to send stuff, through the mail, email. So just giving them another platform. So being able to create more value to them and during these difficult times has really helped. So technology has just been huge for us on this side of the industry.
Much appreciated. Jace, with ABC, if you want to let us know technology from your standpoint and from ABC's standpoint.
Sure. I've been with ABC a little over 12 years, but that's long enough to see where we went from back then to now. Is most of our programs or our systems are online in some way, shape, or form. So for our customers, we make things easy for them, whether it's quoting software, the way they order off of their phone or an app, route tracking or routing our trucks, takeoffs, or just general communications. It's nothing like it used to be. We have job site pictures. We can get satellite imagery or even overhead shots from aircraft getting roof measurements, so they can not have to get up on the roof and measure by hand like we were taught 12 years ago. But account management, lead generation, all of these things help both ABC Supply and our customers scale, which otherwise wouldn't be possible.
Outstanding, thanks. Jeanette, I wanted to finish up with you, as you're kind of our lone holdout that is not manufacturing, not a hard goods type of product. How is technology impacting recruiting world?
I love that, because everything that every single one of these individuals had talked about their technology initiatives or how they've transformed their technology, we've actually probably had a hand in some way, shape, or form with one of our consultants or with one of our global services partners. So all the things that they all talked about, building out mobile applications or creating more easily accessible data for their internal or external uses, or just saving money through automation, we're the ones sitting down with people like them in their industries, talking about a plan. How can we bring in our partners? How can we fix this together? And whether it be lean on it on a global services front or use our delivery centers for staffing with one of our experts, we're doing the job for them. So our business has definitely profited from the unfortunate COVID restrictions, but it has made the world understand that technology is a lot more useful than maybe they thought before. So we've actually really came out on top because of all this.
Outstanding, thanks. I've got one question left, and so we'll go through the group with this one question, and then we'll see if.
David, do you mind? I just want to add something about technology real quick.
Sure.
Sorry, I'll take just 30 seconds.
No, it's okay.
If you're looking at the headlines right now and you're thinking about technology as a business, it looks a little iffy right now, right? You're seeing layoffs from Google, from Salesforce. Zoom just launched some today. one of the things that you should hear from all the panelists here is technology isn't going anywhere, whether it's something that's tangible that we're using like automated forklifts or some sort of software platform we're using to get to our customers faster. These organizations saw a massive, like an insurmountable amount of growth. It's basically like, think of a person buying a scratch off and winning $1 billion. They could barely make ends meet. They didn't know what to do with it. So they sized up so quickly. And then when you try to create that and try to, with an intangible product like a software, there's no overhead with, manufacturing of a software. It's all about employing a sales force to then drive it like crazy during 2020, 2021, and 2022. And when we get to 2023, and ultimately what that software is trying to help companies like ours create, maybe some of the sales slow down a little bit. They've got to ebb and flow with the business. So a lot of those companies right now are right sizing. If you're someone who's considering a technology industry, don't be afraid and don't look at it. It's not going anywhere. So just something to consider when it comes to our technology. Every single person on this panel needs it to do their business today. So it's got an exciting future.
That's a great call out, Ian. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'll stay with you then. This is a good segue into kind of the last question, general question. Advice for students interested in going into the business to business field, whether it's your particular industry or just advice for interns, graduates, people that want the business to business side of the world as their end goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing when you look at business to business is business consumer is very straightforward. It's a streamlined process and it happens very, very quickly. But when you think about marketing and developing content for distributors or individuals who are purchasing something that's not an end product, they're purchasing the product to resell, you have to think big picture and you have to think adaptable. This is not a quick sales process. This is not something where someone walks in, someone says, this looks great, they sign it and you're good to go and you don't have to come back. This is something where you have to think about the process, not only just to make the initial sale, to be a 6-month to a 12-month potential process. And then you still have to revisit that account. And that's really what driving our business marketing team is always constantly focused on is how do we gather more customers? And then how do we make those customers happy as possible? And you want to find yourself placed in a company that will really make sure they have a heavy focus on those distributors, those end users, because if we can make them happy, they can make the customers happy and everybody wins in that scenario. So being patient and making sure that you understand the sales cycle and how marketing dollars are used within that sales cycle is going to help you whether you end up in sales or marketing, because it's going to give you a ton of direction day one in whatever company you end up with that'll help generate success for you.
Fantastic. Thanks. Jeanette, I see you nodding along. Do you want to pick up where Ian left off? Advice for new graduates.
I really agree with everything he just said. And again, it's just such a full circle moment for me. Like I said before, I was in the American Marketing Association and I did all like the sales competitions and stuff. And you go into the real world and you don't necessarily know what you want to do. Tech systems is not my first job out of college. Just want to say this. This is just Jeanette talking to everybody right now. I worked a variety of different positions. I actually have a very successful construction company with my husband on the side where I was knocking on doors. I did a lot of product sales before I came to tech. So business to business is completely different. Like still at the end of the goal, you want to get the close, you want to do the negotiation, you want them to be a valuable customer and you be valuable to them. But you really have to stay in the know of what's important to the customer. How can you keep that relationship going through these hard times? Like I knew some of my other partners who weren't so lucky in the other industries that their customers just completely stopped buying because they didn't have any more funds to give because of the way that COVID had affected them. They had to lean on their friendships and the relationships they built over X amount of years and continue to keep them up to date with the industry trends. So you have to be really smart, really tactful, very strategic in business to business sales and marketing, and just show that you are just a value. And yeah, it's definitely not transactional and it takes a lot of patience. But once you get there, the return on investment is usually really, really good.
Fantastic. Thanks much. I'm going to work my way across the screen as I see them. So Edgar,
I'm sorry. You mind if I go off on one? Because I actually
that's fine. Jump in.
I actually disagree with Jeanette a little bit. B2B being completely different, and I can't speak totally to B2C because I have not done it. But in my experiences with B2B, you're still selling to people. And so you still need to know your why. And I think you need to, get them emotional enough to act, right? You need to highlight the problems that they experience at a personal level and how those challenges relate to them. And so whether you're doing that at a macro level with your marketing techniques or at a micro level, talking, being the salesperson one-to-one, I think that that personal aspect of it still comes into play. So that's kind of how I've always viewed things.
Fantastic, Drew. Thank you very much. Edgar at Sherwin.
Definitely a lot of good advice. I mean, best advice I can give you guys right now is just really get involved as much as you can. Like you said, take advantage of all these sales competitions, different styles. Everything's going to be different no matter what industry you go into. Even myself with my set of customers now, customer A is going to be completely different from customer B. And just by involving yourself and getting all the experience and learning it now, kind of just prepares yourself, and always be kind of in the mentality of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it's going to just allow you to evolve all your skills so much better. And especially as a B2B, it's going to be so much different every time. So definitely take advantage of everything, all the resources that you have right now.
Fantastic. Thanks, Edgar. I appreciate that. Susan, I'm going to come to you. Jace, I'll pick you up next, and then I'm going to finish up with Taylor.
All good advice from everybody on the panel here. I would echo, make sure that you know when you're looking for jobs what the sales cycle does look like. There are different sales cycles. We're a much shorter sales cycle, so maybe that's going to tick the box for you. Or if a longer sales cycle is your thing, then that's awesome as well. Think about the company culture that you're going to go into. Is that a good fit for you, as well as their fulfillment? You can sell as much as you want to sell, but if you don't have the plant and the manufacturing facilities behind you to get your products to your customers, right, you've put in all that hard work. So those are a couple of things that I would say maybe would be important to have on your checklist when you're sourcing and interviewing and, figuring out what your path looks like.
All right, great advice. Thanks, Susan. I appreciate it. Jace from ABC Supply, last words or advice for soon to be graduating students?
Sure. Well, like Jeanette said, I kind of chuckled when she said this is most likely not going to be your last job. Quite honestly, one of the companies on this panel, I worked at for 7 years. So I smiled when I saw them on the list today. And a good company they are too. But above all else, it doesn't seem like a lot of people want to work. Everybody wants to go get paid. You guys mentioned the trade. You can make tons of money being an electrician or a plumber right now, but everybody wants to go out and get the big money real quick. I don't think anybody in this room, virtually or not, made all that money very quickly. Success typically takes time. And back to what one of the other guys said, this is long ball. This is chess. It's not checkers. It takes time to manifest good relationships and then see the fruits of that labor. So I guess my last piece of advice would say, make sure you enjoy where you work. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter what they pay you.
It's great advice. Thanks much. Taylor, we're going to finish up with you on this question, and then we'll have a couple of minutes to take a couple of questions from the audience. So if you guys have questions, get your hands up and we'll get around to you.
All right. So coming from someone who was literally sitting in one of those seats you guys were in last year, I can most definitely say attitude is everything and skill will come later. When you guys first get into your job, it's all about your attitude. You want to be excited about your job. You want to have a passion for what you're doing and for the company that you're working for, especially in sales. If you don't have that passion behind you, behind the product that you're selling, it will be very difficult for you to excel and gain that success. It is so important for you to know that you are ready and know that know that you have those skills. However, know that you will gain those greater skills and those necessary skills for the industry that you're in later on. If you're in a great company, you will be taught that. It's so important for you to work well with your manager because there's going to be a ton of questions, and that's the way to really learn. It's all about your attitude. Never feel like you're not doing great enough. There could be months that go by and you may get a response from a prospect that you've been trying to reach out to for a very long time. That actually happened to me today. So what I'm trying to say is always have that confidence, because it is so crucial in sales. You need to have confidence in yourself, and you should. Being in the spot that you're in, attending Whitewater, it already puts you at a great spot. It's a great business school, and I'm sure you guys are great business students. And you really just need to have that confidence and really pick the company that you truly have a passion for. That's my piece of advice, but there are amazing advice that the rest of the panel gave as well.
All right, Taylor, much appreciated. And thanks to the whole panel. We have time for 1 or 2 questions. If we have questions from students here. All right. Quiet audience. Thank you very much to the panel. We appreciate you all being here. I appreciate Andy's help running the computer and software system to keep this all going. If any of you have specific interest in any of these organizations, let one of your professors know. We'll get contact information for you. Please be sure to scan in the attendance code. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. David, I
Thanks,
realized I
everybody.
couldn't you Andrew the whole time. Sorry about that.
Thank you all.
So again, thank you for attending. Thank you to all the partners. Please scan in.
Team, as I'm heading out, some of you sent me LinkedIn requests. Please feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Come see us at the career fair. We'll be at the Partners Career Fair for AMA as well next week. It's great chatting with all of you. Best of luck.
Same. Thank you for having us, and definitely come check us out at the career fair. Thank you.
I won't be at the career fair, but feel free to add me on LinkedIn, and we do have a QR code on my slide if you want to be reached out for more information. There are spots open, and I really appreciate all your time today. Yeah, thanks. Bye.
I do have a couple AMA updates before everybody leaves. Everybody scanned the code already. We can move on. So if you've been attending divisional meetings and you're interested in holding a directorship, please scan this QR code and fill it out for any of these positions, and it'll get you in contact with the right people. And then here's our weekly schedule if anybody still needs that. But other than that, have a good night and thank you guys for coming.